Anyway, so for Valentine's Day, I decided to buy a gun.
Oh, fun. What did you want to do with the gun?
Just stuff. I bought a pink one.
Oh, fun. That's a
Yeah, like
cute little cover.
yeah.
How's your husband?
Well, we have our issues, but all in all, I think we're gonna stick together
Oh,
at
you
the
think
end.
you're gonna... Okay, that's good. Because I
Yeah,
think you're such a cool girl.
I'm such a cool girl, and you know, what was the? Anyway, should we start?
We should start.
Let's start.
Are you gonna still do that frame him for murder bullshit? Are you still gonna do that frame your husband for murder bullshit?
Well, I don't know if we started. Don't hear
Oh
it
yeah,
out.
I clicked record. Shit, I'll edit it out.
Edit out. Edit out. I don't say it. Anyway, hi.
I
You know how they say that thing?
just
I
heard.
just heard. They say this thing that
What
when
thing do they say?
you step on a crack, you break your mom's back.
Well, guess what? I don't like the noise at marshmallows.
Okay.
And also, the people, the places, the things that we talk about are some other. No.
Hoppity hop hop hop.
My favorite one. I love when they use the microphone funny, and I don't know if it works with these.
Yeah.
Have shitty microphones, have shitty way of recording
Yeah.
with like sound.
Mm.
But my favorite is, I don't know if it'll translate well, but when Matteo Lane was like, you know, guys, when you get called like a drive-by gay, like you're walking down the street and you just hear, back.
Oh,
I love Matteo Lane. He's so funny. He was talking about like playing Call of Duty,
well,
and him and his friend who's also gay like hid in a closet, and his friend was like, and he's like, "What is it? Did they find?" He's like, "Oh, look at these tapestries." What's up? How's your week been?
good. I was sick
Yeah, you were sick.
for like 2 days.
And the head.
First, yeah. First, it was my back, then my pussy, then my crack,
Ah,
and then no, I thought it was because I was cleaning too hard. I live an exciting life, don't I?
I mean, come on, girl.
God, what more do you want?
Everybody wants her Miss Sexy in the city.
Hey. Anyway, but then I woke up the next day with like throat issues and coughing, and my nose was no, my nose was like not doing its job. So I was like, okay, it's a thing. Maybe it's Corona again. I don't know.
Cornova.
But I skipped
Don't be
I
afraid.
skipped school for 2
Don't be afraid of Cornova.
people are gonna die, and that's
Like sad, but it's like
inevitable.
inevitable. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be out here.
Um. So yeah, but then I went back to work. It's a lot of work, man. Just a lot of work. We
Yeah,
have a
this
new
week
trainee.
has been a lot of work for me too.
So
There's less people, so there's like a lot of calls. Do you get those days where it's like somebody doesn't show up for work, so then you have like a double workload?
no, because it's usually just the two of us.
Okay,
Or the, like,
good.
nobody's.
When you're in one team, it's usually
Yeah.
much easier. Because I'm the like all around like call
Yeah.
call team. What's it call guy? You know, I run a like I'm in a brothel and
He's
oh my
pounding me day and night.
oh my god! Imagine like this job, but it's just like a phone sex hotline.
You'll be great. Love that.
Oh my god! And they're very into like disinterested men.
Yeah, just like okay,
Uh huh.
all right.
So are you doing it?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
No, I could do like a lot. I just the hard part of a phone sex hotline is figuring out what the guy's into.
Yeah,
Because you being like, what are you into ruins the
yeah,
magic of it.
yeah. So you
So-
have to be like
Bad boy, and then you hear like a oof, and you're like,
good boy. So feet. Are they big?
Do they be big?
Do they be big?
There's a thing about feet where it's like I'm not a foot fetishist, but I know that they're so sexualized that at this point, like I might as well be.
At this point, it's a boob. Like
Yeah,
so,
like,
you know.
my favorite is when a girl took a picture and she put like an emoji on her armpit, and a guy commented like, "So what? Are we censoring our armpits now?" And she's like, "Yeah, there's a lot of creeps on the earth." Yes. Well, I've never seen like a straight guy with an armpit kink. I mean, that was the first experience
Yeah.
of that.
I don't know. There are just parts of the body that are generally kind of,
Armpits are a very like predominant gay kink.
yeah.
I think it's a.
Which to this day, but I'm not like I don't understand the concept of it.
I think it's the masculinity of it, if it,
Okay.
especially if it's like hairy or it has a certain
Yeah.
smell, and then like I feel a lot of us either read media or like grew up with like get into
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and then it's like it's the diving into the pit for
Uh-huh.
me personally.
Jesus.
Some like licking. I would not survive that.
Uh huh.
I would get ticklish. I would clench
Just
my
kill
hand too
you.
hard and then just crack his
Yeah. The
head.
the
It's
head just pops.
absolutely. It's
Hmm.
very that one Inside Number 9 episode.
Yeah. Okay. Um. I don't know. There are some kinks that I'm like, okay, I get it, kinda. Even with feet, I'm like, okay, you want a foot job, I guess.
With feet, I
But
get it because
if
it's like
that's not your thing, then I don't get it. Then what? What? Or just
oh,
look at it.
licking, massaging,
Yeah.
loving how they look. I think personally, I mean, there's a thing that's scientifically right,
Mhm.
like that like feelings about feet or whatever are close to where your sex is stored, whatever.
Sure.
It's a lot better explained, but there's actually like I just haven't read it on Twitter. I saw an article on Twitter and I opened it.
Okay.
But apparently, like that's a thing, so that's why it's so famous. Personally, I think it's because it's. I think you've seen more boobs in your life than you've seen feet.
Yeah. And it's also like kind of a gross part of everyone's body. And everyone is
Yeah,
like, ew, feet. So you're like, no, feet.
which is weird when you have a foot fetish about like cleanly, beautiful
Hmm.
feet.
Yeah.
Then it's like,
Then what are we doing here?
this is just a fantasy at this
Yeah.
point.
At this point, you're lying to yourself.
Yeah. Now, I hate when men have the expectation of women that they don't have for themselves. Me and Amber talked about this recently. Her mom can't fart around her new boyfriend.
Well,
But at least
can't as in she doesn't want to, or can't because he doesn't want her
he was
to.
like, ew.
No, no, no.
No, the good part is that he's also like, I need to excuse myself.
Okay.
Those parts and the other.
Fair
But
enough. Because
there's
I am
but
the type to excuse myself, but I'm going to tell you not to fart. You know? Like that's.
no, I'm like as long as you have the same expectation of yourself, that's great.
Yeah.
If you, I've known a guy who's like bisexual, and he's like, I like all my girls to be clean shaven. That's why I clean shave too.
Hmm.
And I'm like, that's respectable.
Yeah.
That's like I have a thing for body hair. If you have it,
Yeah.
like there's how do you go? Like I have a thing for crusty, ugly teeth, and then you have crusty, ugly teeth.
Yeah.
Maybe you're the problem, Jessica.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. And there are things that once you get to a place in your life where it's like, yeah, just things that you shouldn't think about, I guess.
Yeah,
Like farting.
I love. There was this guy who would do like very cute, like it's like snowing and the girl
Yeah.
and the guy are kissing, and then it's like aspirational quotes, and he does like your girlfriend shaves her toes.
Eh, I love it. Um, when Vine was still a thing, and it was like reading questions or whatever, and then Gabby Hanna had like a question that was like, do you shave down there? And she was like, my big toe? Yes.
Vine. I wasn't a Vine kid. I was everything that was momentarily popular.
Yeah.
I wasn't a
But
Snapchat kid. I
it's
wasn't
weird
a
to me that it's still, because now like a Snapchat thing is like everybody's over it,
yeah.
unless you're, nudes. But
Now my thing is with Vine, there was like two factors of it. There was the popular girls watching Lilliput, and yeah, forget
which
everybody
to
else.
this day, I don't know what she put in this. Lele Pons had the worst content on the internet, and I'm including everything on the internet. Well, not everything. We'll stop at child porn, but everything up
No, no,
until
no.
that point.
Worse, like
Worse, I would
at least
sit
there's
there.
some production.
I would sit there for hours. I would watch compilations on YouTube that were hour and a half, and I'm watching every single one. I don't know why.
My thing is, I did that with like a family friend now that's not extremely religious, and that I was like, okay. And then I remember watching them all being like,
So
what?
so dumb.
Yeah.
Like it's 6-year-olds would look at that and be like, "This
No,
is stupid."
I hate the like Vine star, TikTok star trend.
Okay.
Like just some 19-year-old guy who looks kind of like a corpse and has a dumb haircut.
But like throw in funny.
No, because that's Pete Davidson. Yes.
Yeah.
He's fully tattoo free now.
I know. He kept like 3 or 4, which I'm like, sure, but it's like nobody's gonna see that now. Nobody's gonna see your tattoo now. Like at that
My
point,
thing
just
was like,
wipe it off.
do over, do good ones.
Yeah. No, but I think he looks good now. He looks healthy now.
I think he looks sicker now.
No, but like not just because of the tattoos. I'm saying in general, like he has like a a
No, my
good.
thing, the
He
tattoo
doesn't look like a dying like
for me, the
narco.
tattoos like made me get away from the face. Now, now I can't help but look at the face, and I'm like,
It's a pretty face. What are you talking
he
about?
has a pretty face, but also like pretty dying,
But that's just the under eyes. He
and
has nice
and the teeth.
features. Yeah. He has nice lips. He's that kid to this day. I found it again. I was like, wow. When I was like really young, I saw like a stand up thing from a kid, and he was like 15.
Yeah,
And I remember watching it. I was like, oh, this is so funny. Cut to 10 years later, I'm looking at Pete Davidson. I go back to the clip,
you
and it
get
was Pete
you
Davidson.
gave that kid a like.
Yes,
I miss those days
exactly.
where
Me
like
too.
Billie Eilish walked down the street and somebody was begging for money, and she gave him 15-inch of mechanical wire. That kid now is Elon Musk.
Musk.
Especially when it's like a person significantly older.
Older, yeah. Oh,
Or like sworn enemies. Greta Thunberg was walking down the street and she gave a piece of a cookie to a starving child. That man is now Donald Trump.
sorry. I
Oh,
love that that's a sworn
Christopher
enemy.
Nolan.
Greta Thunberg and Donald. Yeah, but it's hilarious.
This was before there was a meme. There was Chris Fleming going like, Uh, I hate teenagers who drink coffee, but we have to be like, we have to combat millennials who are stealing our jobs. Millennials are too excited to share the news of their dead grandparents on social media. But a few years ago, a 15-year-old girl decided to get into coffee so she could look more mature. That girl now is Bernie Sanders. Chris Fleming
Oh
is one of
god,
the funniest people on
the
earth.
funniest people, like genuinely, like it's. Oh
But even if you don't get like even if you don't want like know a musical theater person,
yeah,
you
you're
get
like
it.
because he
You,
does it in like a
he
genuine
explains
like.
it. My
This is
favorite is townie group homophobic townie groupies
mm-hmm,
and their girlfriends.
mm-hmm.
And he was like, um the way they hold their beer cans, those huge arms that completely and it's like what if they have tiny little Paul Simon hands? That's the next Pixar movie right there.
Yeah.
He's like Mike, AJ, BJ, CJ, AJ, and Mike.
Oh,
Can one little tiny hand homophobe show that it's not about the homophobe outside, but the homophobe in here?
oh.
And then they have like girlfriends who are like, you're probably uh, you're probably like lip gloss disguised as a person. See those? And he goes like, "Do you see those YouTube videos of the girls doing their makeup, and then like on the side, it's the label like warning, testing the rhinos, get each and every one of them sciatica."
I love Chris Martin.
Oh, he's the
I
best.
I love Caleb. I love. I don't. I'm realizing now that with um stand-up comedy, I'm very into real. I don't like a setup. Here's a joke. Setup. Here's a joke. Setup. Here's a joke.
I like a story.
I'm good without I can do a story that's fun. Like, hello, Kathy,
Yeah.
girlfriend. But I love just a real like conversation. Like, tell me like something awkward. Like even Caleb just going like, okay, that was the funniest fucking thing I ever heard.
But
You're
that's a
gay.
story.
Yeah, but it's not like it doesn't take you on a journey. It's
Yeah,
like a
but it's a
four sentence
yeah,
thing.
but it's a story.
Yeah, but it's anyway.
No, because you can only do setup and joke, or you can do a story, or you can do the third. be political.
Mm,
Mm.
mm,
No, but even if it's that short of a thing, it's still like, you know,
mm,
hi, there's a story
yeah,
here, there's a thing. I love Sarah Millican.
yeah,
I love when it feels like I'm talking to my like
hmm,
family friends.
yeah. Like here you go.
Like I don't know you well enough, but by the end of this, I think I'll know everything about
Hmm.
you.
Yeah,
I mean, for me, John. I mean, it's basically like John Mulaney is one of my
yeah.
favorites. He's so funny. I thought I never fought. I was running away from the police drunk, and I saw a fence, and I thought I never climbed a fence that high, and then I woke up in bed.
Mm,
I love. He had one special after he was in rehab called Baby J. And it's not that like it. A lot of it is just saying like talking about his like
yeah.
high experiences and shit like that, and it's kind of funny, but like not as much as the other ones because he was much more perky and peppy and fast and
Gee,
excited.
wonder
Which
why.
yeah, you wanna connect the dots.
Interesting.
But there was like a fourth grader in the audience.
Uh-huh.
I was like, and this is not gonna distract me at all. Hello, how old are you? He was like, was this a babysitter canceled situation?
Yeah.
And then he goes like, I never say in when I tell these stories explicitly
Mm.
because it's implied, but because you're here, don't. And then he goes, at one point he like does the whole show, and then he goes like, and I am standing here in front of all of you in the future of America. And one time his dad said she saw like a girl in a Victorian gown, like a ghost.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, he's like, my mom made me sleep in long white baby. No, that I love the most at a story.
Yeah.
I love the most that just I'm a funny person who has funny things
Yeah.
happen to me.
And here you go.
But I can't stand up. What's the deal with this?
Yeah. Because it's so like done.
I'm gonna recently her and I were talking about BoJack Horseman, and she was like, "He's modeled after that guy from Seinfeld. I don't know his name." And I was like, "Jerry Seinfeld."
Apt. Apt.
No,
I
but
hate that
Amanda was
man.
so like, "Are you fucking me?" And I was like, "No, his name is
Jerry
Jerry
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld."
That is the most obnoxious, annoying, not funny person in the universe. I don't understand. I saw this thing that genuinely made me mad that the finale of the Seinfeld TV show was played like on the big screen in New York City and like people gathered around to watch it. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's the dumbest thing in the world.
I watched.
And he's
Uh,
so awful.
we
Oh, I
were,
hate it.
and we had a English professor who really didn't care, so he showed a lot of like
Sitcom.
sitcoms, like when he just didn't want to do anything.
Love.
And he did Seinfeld once, and he gave us the best episode, which is like Soup Nazi.
Okay. It's so
And I was
awful.
really like, I was giving it a try.
Yeah, no, it's the worst, and I hate him because he was so like he was talking to this guy on
I do love her.
love her. I I drink. I'm an alcoholic. Yeah, no, it's he was talking to this guy and he was being like, so the show like I think he didn't even say canceled. I think he said like, oh, the show was over or something, and he was like. Did you think that the show got canceled? Where I was making 1 million per episode. You think that the show was canceled off the air? We had like this many years. Like, calm down. Like,
Mm,
get off your ass.
yeah.
And when Kesha wanted to give him a hug, and he was like, no. There's like Kesha walked up to him, and she was like, "Can I give you a hug?" He's like, "No, no, like no, whatever." Then cut to he's doing a thing with um
Oh, somebody else.
somebody else, and then Cardi B was there, and Cardi B like hugged the guy, and then Jerry went to hug her, and she just turned around and left, and I was like, "My girl, thank you."
I the best thing that he did, Jerry Seinfeld, was make the B movie.
Hey, love the B movie. Hate him.
I watched it
Hate
as a
him.
kid, and now looking back, I'm like,
Mm,
my favorite thing though is that they're doing those like
mm,
fake um honeycomb situations to like harvest honey.
mm.
They're like, "Do you guys even have a queen?" And they go like, "Yeah, they're here. There she is." And he's like, "That's not a queen. That's a drag queen."
Queen.
And I watched it in dubbed, and he was like, Tonya Karitsa, to je tetkica.
Yeah,
It's
that's
so
funny.
funny. Any hoozles. No, I never got here, but I do like her. I like Maria should drive first, whatever.
Yeah, I
Oh,
have
she's
a
so
few
sexy and
people.
funny. Who
I
the
know.
fuck vibrating me on a weekend?
How dare you? How absolutely dare you? No, I don't like Jerry Seinfeld. I don't like Jimmy Kimmel. I don't like Emma Stone, but that's a different situation.
It's a weird situation.
My thing is, I was okay. So you know how I was right about Elton John this whole time.
Yeah.
I also had like as soon as Hotline Bling came out, I looked at Drake and I was like, I hate him. Don't know why. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, he looks like a pedophile. I didn't. I had no idea. But I was like, from the get go, I did not like that man. What happened?
You know what I didn't like? That his music was bad.
His music was bad. He was ugly. It had nothing. You're not
I don't.
charming. You're not
To
cute.
be
You're
fair,
not funny.
to be fair, I
You're
did not
nothing.
think he was ugly. But
I did.
just to be fair,
Yeah.
my thing
Play
is
devil's advocate here.
my thing is how does somebody with this mediocre music has this many fans? And then I realized he's a rapper with a mostly white following.
He's a rapper with the vibe because he's a white man.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like you,
That's what connected instantly.
yeah.
But the way people are like, I don't get. Okay, I almost called myself out. I was about to say like, I don't get when people like things have a ride or die following. Yesterday, I went to punch somebody over on Nintendo. My thing is okay. There's sometimes there's different situations because if like you would kill somebody for Taylor Swift, that's one thing.
Mhm.
If Amina were to kill somebody over like 90s rap music that she's very
Mhm.
passionate, somebody called Outkast once a one hit wonder. It's a conversation she has to do.
Love.
Whenever she hears okay, she's like, she is Oprah talking about Barbara Streisand.
Brandon her mic.
She she was goes she was and I go trying to like have a normal conversation with her about it, being like, well, it's I agree with you, but there's and she's like, no, but
Yeah.
and I was like, well, some people might
I will
call.
never disagree with someone that like if they know more than I do about something. I'll never bullshit you.
My thing with Amare is sometimes she does this thing of like she doesn't think of the other side of it. So I go like, well, like some people would think that REM was a one hit wonder because it was losing my religion,
Right.
and I'm being like, hey, here's another example that's very incorrect, but it's just a thing that people do, and the only thing we can do is educate them. She's like, yes, but REM isn't that influential in rock, and I'm like, you don't know shit about rock.
Yeah.
Like you don't like not that you don't know shit, but it's like you don't know that situation. You just know that Outkast is very, very impactful in the
Yeah.
rap scene, and I'm trying to be like, hey, look at it from this side. I'm not saying that they're correct. I'm saying that
Yeah,
there's a thing.
it happens everywhere.
Like she sometimes has that thing of like everyone's out to get her.
Yeah.
Uh, like whenever you say something like that, it's not like, hey, I agree. It's like I'm I'm I'm
I'm disagreeing with
I'm
you.
disagreeing with you. Yeah, no, but I get that way about like Nintendo with video games. Because yesterday Kenan was like, I mean, sometimes it's just two words that I just need to like. Okay, it's four words that I have to say, and it's like
Okay.
I don't get Nintendo games. Oh, you don't have style. It's the thing of like,
So you know nothing about life then. Okay.
yes, yeah. It's kind of a thing of if you don't like Nintendo games, oh, you're not playing video games for the video game experience of the game. You're playing just to waste time and enjoy, like herder,
Murder.
herder. And it's like the only way a story can be told to you if it's told directly to you without any nuance or stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And you don't care about game design, you just care about what's new and popular. And
Yeah.
yeah,
There you go.
no, but then
I'm
somebody
gonna go get a pizza.
and then somebody talks that way. Oh, this excludes people who do not like have Nintendo or whatever. I'm just saying like people who fight me on
Yeah.
not fight me, but there's like it starts a conversation about like Nintendo where I was like,
Hmm.
oh, I can't wait to buy a Switch too. And they're like, well, I'm gonna get a Steam Deck, and I'm just like, like I never got the point of Nintendo games. When you say that,
Yeah.
because like I'm gonna never play like Nintendo games. She wants to play the most famous Zeldas, which like fair enough, they're really good. Um, but she never goes like, well, those games aren't.
Yeah.
Even though one time she says that like I was like set one Nintendo because I price most things $70, and they were like they're not that like game changing, and I was like,
We were here. She said that when we were here. I
yeah,
was like,
that's.
I'm not. It's literally just in the middle, like,
No,
I'm not commenting.
my thing is every game you play wouldn't exist because no, actually, video games wouldn't be popular without Nintendo.
Mm,
Because there was a game crash of I forget the year they released ET for the Atari 600,
okay.
crashed the industry. There's a landfill full of just ET the video games
Wow.
until Nintendo came along and they introduced Rob, ROB, not robbing people. And they were like, "Yeah, this is it's a toy. It's not a game."
Uh-huh.
And then people were like, "Oh, Super Mario fucking fucks," and so that
Yeah.
like you wouldn't have any video games without today. And also like Nintendo is the first to change it. Everything you see now in open worlds, outside from like what's copied from Ubisoft, is copied from Nintendo.
Yeah.
Whenever you go like, "Ooh, this is a great thing that they added in an open world game," probably got
Yeah.
from Nintendo. It's the most like it's revolutionary, and it's not one of those where it's like, "Here's this one thing, but the rest sucks."
Yeah.
And that's where I was like,
No.
because it's like I got history on my
Yeah.
side.
I got facts. Facts don't care about you.
But it's a thing of like you are like if you're knowledgeable and you're like you have a ground to talk about it,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But if you're just like fuck you, Drake's the best.
Yeah. Shut up about it.
Like
I do love the memes where it's like Drake Can's watching the Super Bowl. It's like it wasn't even that good. You know, Kendrick did the Super Bowl thing, and
yeah,
it's just being like, it was mid. It was people were just gassing him up, bro. It was like so mid. It's so funny.
no.
I loved it. I loved every second of that thing. I'm not even in it, but I'm like,
You do,
tell that
do you
bitch.
know the one thing Drake replied to? That's about that thing. He took a picture with Serena Williams, his ex like something associate.
Just
So
shut
like
the fuck up.
a guy called you a pedophile on stage,
You're
and
like
the only thing you're replying to is that your ex-wife danced there.
wife,
Serena, that's
but
or,
ex-wife. I didn't know.
I don't know if it's ex-wife or I might.
There's no way. So Serena Williams is like, I can't imagine her with Drake. Cause you're
Because she's
such
a
a woman,
powerful.
like you're, and then that's a little bitch boy.
Yeah,
Maybe that was the dynamics too, probably.
probably beat him with a tennis racket.
Say Drake. You're
Um,
like, yeah,
no, I got really pissed about that Nintendo thing yesterday with like coworker of mine because she's so lit. It's the way things are phrased sometimes.
yeah,
Like I don't really get Nintendo games, and I'm like, yeah, because you have no joy in life. Like it's a thing of there's things that people feel like they're allowed to say.
yeah.
Like people are allowed to say like God exists, but I have to say like I don't think God
I
exists.
disagree. There you go.
No, you but if you go like God doesn't exist, like that's a fact.
Yeah,
And if they go like God exists, that's a fact, and it's like sure.
sure.
Like there's
Yeah,
things that because you're a big boy gamer and you do those realistic games and everything, and it's like yeah, but if you played Ocarina of Time, you wouldn't realize how that game is about growing up
yeah,
because you're not a scholar of the games.
no,
You're playing the game of your controller, but you're not playing the actual game. You're clicking buttons. You will get to a finish line, but you won't like. You have to have a game drip fed to you
yeah,
of like, here's The Last of Us. It's basically a movie with games in
yeah.
between, and that sure. There's good stories told to that. God of War fucking fucks, but
Fucking fuck.
um, yeah. But there's a thing of like you don't think about the actual impact of the game and how much art the game. I don't know. I get way too much into
No,
this.
I like board games. Forget it.
But there's also like when we play together, there's never more fun than when we do a Nintendo game.
Yeah,
And that's the thing. Like whenever like I don't care if you're the most cynical person on planet Earth. When I boot on Mario Kart, you will play Mario Kart.
yeah, and it's gonna be fun.
You will like. I don't get it. And that's like the testament to how well those games are made.
Uh,
So I'm like, you could be 70 years old. I
yeah.
don't give a shit. Like, if they can release fucking WWE 24K 1700 for $70 and then later have it to be 20, like if that game at one point was priced 70, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom can be 70 for the rest of
Yeah.
it. I don't give a shit. Any movie.
What else? How's your week?
No,
No. Okay.
no. It wasn't horrendous. It was just like not a lot of people at work, so a lot of calls, and then just playing God of War and watching Sex and the City.
Mhm.
It affects my life in the following ways. Um, it's a game about. I love God of War. I would. If we lived together, it would be one of those things where I wait for you to come home so you can watch me play so you
Yeah.
can experience these stories. It's a very like. It's a great game of. At the beginning, he doesn't know how to be a proper father. So the God of War games, there were firstly 3 or 4 on the like PS2 and PS3,
Yeah.
and they're about this. He's Kratos, the God of War, and Greek religion and Greek history,
Mythology.
mythology, yeah. And he killed. He's vengeful, and
Yeah.
he got fucked over by all the gods, and then he killed Zeus. And they're like, do you know how in
Good for
controller
you.
you have the 2 little thumbsticks that you control, and you can click them in,
Hmm.
like that's a button. At one point, you have to grab somebody's eye out, and you have to click both the buttons,
Ooh.
and then it's like its eyes.
Yeah.
It's really cool. But the whole game is just like revenge. It's like very much a male fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm really powerful and I killed
Kevin fucked
them.
over. Look at me now.
And also, they're very, very, very easy games.
Yeah.
Like they're literally when I started playing Bayonetta, which is they're both hack and slash games, which is like you go and you kill.
Yeah.
And people were googling like, how do I get better at Bayonetta? And the first words were like, don't treat it as a God of War.
Mm.
Like being like, don't just think it's
Yeah. Like,
punch, punch, kick, leg, shoot, 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 shoot.
yeah.
You have to actually think about your thing. And then God of War 20 whatever came out. Like it's a requel.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's like it's the same Spartan God of War,
Yeah.
but he is now in Norse mythology.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, he got a he got a wife. He wanted to just live a normal mortal life.
Uh-huh.
Gives birth to his son Atreus. And by the way, his voice actor Sunny Sulic. His
Whoa.
dad's Bosnian, his mom's Russian.
Oh, slay.
Love it.
Yeah.
Um, so at the beginning, his and the story is that his wife, Atreus' mother, dies, and they want to carry her ashes to the highest peak of
Yeah.
that realm.
Uh-huh.
And at the beginning, they're very like he's a very stern person, and he's very like, boy, you do not listen to me,
Yeah.
oh boy. To this day, the best thing he ever said, and I'll use it in everyday speak, was and he goes like, sorry, and I'm like, don't be sorry, be better.
Funny because I've had that said to me at work. It's also like you're not. It was said by somebody who's so not a boss. Like it's a guy from America, but he's like, you're just doing shit there. Like you're not. And then I was like, oh, sorry. Like I missed that. We were supposed to put something. And then he was like, don't be like, don't apologize. Just do it. And I was like,
Now you can just
get
go like,
fucked.
now you can go like, okay, God of War.
Okay.
No, my thing is like somebody drops a plate and they're like, sorry, and I'm like, don't be sorry, be better. Um, Um, and over time, he becomes more of a nurturing parent, but he never stops being stoic.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I like about it. They don't turn him into like an ooh nice, like oh, all of a sudden he's this great dad.
Yeah.
He is a great dad, but he still has this stoicness
Yeah.
about him. So, um, and it's a very gradual thing, and you notice it through when you like row the boat. Like if you do it for a long time, they just start talking,
Yeah.
and you can just do a side quest where you like try and find some guy, whatever, and he stabbed his dad in the back, and then you talk to
Literally, or
the not the kid, but like in
yeah.
the and then somebody like his ghost is being like, "Can you find us? I need to be left to peace and everything." And then they're walking, and then there's a disfigured head that we made alive. It's whatever. He's and then he's like stabbed his father in the back, and then Atreus is like, I mean, stabbing your dad in the back. I mean, I get mad at you, but I would never stab you in the back. And he's like, you get mad at me? Not being like, oh, but like, you do? And he's like, well, yeah. And then it's like like the head and the boy keep talking, and then there's like silence for 10 minutes, and they're like, when? What?
When do you get
When do you get mad at me? And he's like, I went, in the future, inform me. And so like
Yeah.
it's like he never stops being stoic
Yeah,
and
but
like
it's
a badass, but he's also a great father.
yeah.
He's I don't know, it's a great game. I'm really into it. I have fatigue of like the too many open world games, but all right. And then I'm also watching Sex and the City. So I'm watching a story about a stoic father being like, "Don't be sorry, be better," being kind of like a cunty bitch sometimes. And then I watch this show about cunty bitches. My friends are gonna hate me in the following weeks.
Yes, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be like, look at this amazing thing I did, and I was like, that's so. Like those shoes are just adulterating about a ripoff. But I love Sex and the City. I don't know. They're also human, and I've had those conversations.
Yeah.
And it's like the city is the character. So
I saw this girl. She was like, all of you hating on Carrie never had a big in your life, and that's why you're like, I'm like,
no.
good
I was
God.
with people on that. I was with that guy who said like, of course Carrie does horrendous things, but I would still be her friend. I should just,
Yeah.
until
Until what?
Mr. Aiden comes along and is a great guy, and then she goes and cheats on him with Mr. Big.
Yeah.
At one point, the toxic relationship affects
Yeah.
your
Somebody else.
friends.
Yeah.
Like at one point, you like. There's a part where you,
It's so annoying to be around a person like that, is my thing. Like, you will have everything will now revolve around this person.
yeah,
And it's the most like, I don't care. I know you care about them.
yeah,
I don't. To an
yeah,
extent of this is all I'm willing to talk about whenever we hang out.
yeah. No, if you're a lover boy, it's fine. But
Yeah.
if you're going back to your ex
Yeah.
and it's all you can talk about, it's. But I recently saw that scene where he's like, "It's not working. We're gonna divorce." Keep that to yourself.
Oh.
Nobody cares about that. Big's getting divorced.
Oh,
No,
I've seen
I think Big is well written as a character because he is charming. He is.
he is,
Uh,
but in a
teenage
very like
teenage me
distant
would
way.
come back to him.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like they're like now I'm more mature. I would hope. Um, but he has that charm about him that
Yeah.
he'd go like I miss you, and I'm like, ooh, they call him Big,
Big. They're big.
but no, I
What's
love
his
it.
actual name?
I think it's John
Okay.
or here. I think it's John because I think I was like John, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that isn't revealed until the last episode.
Oh, I love
Literally, like the last episode, she answers the phone and she goes like, and it says John.
John.
No, watch the show now.
Slay.
Like I never realized that they don't say his name. I've recently seen an episode where they're talking and she goes like, "Oh, this is Natasha and this is," and then she spills something.
Yeah. God, that's so fun. I
But
love
no,
it. I
it's
love it.
he's always Mr. Big. Um, but no, I can't wait to like watch him leave her at the altar and shit like that. It's gonna be crazy. Um, Miranda's with Steve now. Actually, no, they split up first.
Yeah.
But I think they'll go. I think
Yeah,
they'll
they're
go.
gonna go together. Miranda?
No, he grinds my gears. My thing is when my tribe is misrepresented in media, I get very because he's like a man child kind of. And at one point they were talking about how he wants kids, and Miranda's on the fence about it.
Yeah.
Miranda, and
Miranda?
what? And she goes like, "I've been thinking about this kid thing," and he's watching Scooby Doo, and she's like, "Can you turn off the fucking cartoon when I talk to you?" I don't. And he was like, "It's," and he did say that it was like a good episode, like with Minor 29er. And I was like, "Yeah, it's a good episode, but like,
But like
turn it
the
off." I'll read.
yeah, but I don't think that's a man-child thing. I think that's a man thing. They had the same thing with Big, where Carrie was like, well, no, that was on Carrie. But he was watching the game, and she was being like, "Oh, that's like,"
Yeah.
and he was like, "I'm watching the game. Shut
No,
up."
because there's the thing of like, if it's live,
Uh-huh.
you always go like, if it's something that important.
Yeah.
But it's a Scooby Doo, like a rerun will happen. I once saw the same episode twice in a week. Like even without streaming, like
Yeah.
Scooby Doo's gonna come on eventually. Also, if you found Scooby Doo in the nighttime, who is he? Anyways,
You pay.
yeah.
Can I tell you a really fun, like cute thing from my childhood?
Mm.
I loved so Bipin Sviet,
Okay.
you know, like that type of show, whatever. And
Yeah.
it would play like at, I don't know, let's
Were you
say
a
6
Nina
p.m.
girl?
I to this day. Um, but they would have like let's say it played at 6 p.m. and then in the morning they would do a new episode, like a reprise,
Yeah.
the one from the night before. And my dad made up this thing that like he would call the company, who would call them
Ah.
and like make them play 2 episodes
Yeah.
just for me. And I remember one time I was like, so one is finished and I'm watching and I'm sitting in front of the TV and I'm like, is it gonna go again? And it like starts playing, the intro starts playing, and I run out of the room and like to like catch him.
Yeah.
And he had asked my grandma to bring him the phone. So he would literally, so as soon as I ran into the room, I would just see him laying down and the phone is like next to him and he's like, yeah, I did. Yeah, I called him and I was like, to the veil, like
Yeah,
that's
it's
so
cute.
cute.
I they didn't lie to me like that, but I just made up a like thought that in my head. I was scared of the weird. Like, it's the most random thing. I was a very scared kid of like a
Mhm.
lot of things. I was scared of the opening of a How I Wish You Were Here. What's the band?
Who?
How I wish you were here. Dark Side of the Moon.
No idea.
Pink Floyd.
Oh, okay.
They have a song that starts with like money
Okay.
falling and money being, and I was terrified of that. I would run out of the room. I was terrified of that sound.
Mm.
And I wish I imagine my hippie father being like, raise him right. Anti-capitalist.
Yeah.
And I was like, meanwhile it was me being like,
Well, to this day, you're scared of money. You know what happened.
maybe I was like, they're coins, they're not paper. They're not
Well, coins, no. I want all of my money in this offshore bank account in the Himalayas.
it's not a Swiss bank account.
Get it away.
Um, I was afraid there was an animation before Bingo. It was like a 3D animation
Uh-huh.
of like balls jumping around, and I think it was like a bad 3D animation.
Mhm.
Maybe I was just too cautious.
Like, yeah.
Sorry. There's like a 3D animation, and I was terrified of it, and my parents just. But the thing is, with a child like me, you go like, "What the like? How
Yeah.
scary nuts?"
Hmm.
There was a commercial about germs in the toilet before you like put the
I
like
know that. I
thing
loved
to
it.
wash it. I couldn't go pee. I couldn't shit. I could pee.
Uh,
And then my mom once was like, "Why are you hovering above the toilet seat like a lady?" Germs, and they're like monsters, and um. But no, I was scared of that, and then my mom went there and was like, "Don't worry, we deleted it." And I was like, "Did Dad get into the computer and it's just like imagine him like not like getting inside like a repair person, like zooming through the cable and then walking and then being like, no."
God, the children. My thing with TV, it was never because I would talk to people about this. Us girls of the ripe age of 5, we would talk about it, and for everyone, it was like, "Oh, you think there's people in the TV, and that's how they're doing."
Oh,
No, I was smarter than that.
okay.
But I thought that I'm watching other people, and other people are watching me, and it's just this big thing that like I'm just watching you live your life, and you're watching me live my life, and I would like put on a show for people without knowing what a show was.
Yeah.
Like I didn't understand the concept of a script or like let's. I just was like, I'm in my room laying in my bed, I'm like, how can I make this entertaining for the people watching me right now? And I would just like do flips and stuff.
I was an imaginative child. I think I instantly got what the TV was because I didn't see anything in the back. But
Your first TV ever turns on, you're like, somehow go behind it, you're like, no.
so I was like, I knew that it was like a video. Like I knew that it was a video being played around the world. I had some like issues where I didn't realize that Super RTL was on the channel 12 for everybody.
It's just
So I would just go into like different people's rooms and just 12. That's the only
yeah,
thing I knew. I knew how to turn on the TV and type
the
12.
12.
Um, and what did I want to say? Oh yeah, I always because I wasn't obsessed with like Lego video games. That's what got me into video games.
Mm,
Like my dad had like like when I was 10 or something,
yeah.
or even younger probably. We watched all the Star Wars movies, and then he found Lego Star Wars the video game, and he installed it on his computer, and then like I played all it. One time, called him crying because we were saving up to buy a mini kit finder,
Uh-huh.
and I accidentally bought Darth Sidious, and
Oh,
I called him at work
crying.
crying, and I was like, "Dad, I bought Darth Sidious." He's like, "Oh, don't worry, Dark Sidious is good.
Yeah.
Like, we can save up money for the other thing." So like, um, one time he brought me to school, like nobody could take care of me, so he was like, Go to school with me," and I was in class, and I held my SpongeBob, and then all the kids were so like that. He was like, "I think he needs to pee." The
So
room of
cute.
high schoolers, I loved it. Um, but and then whatever I watched,
Yeah.
I was like, how would this be a Lego video
Mhm.
game? Like every single one I
Yeah.
translated to Lego video game. And looking back, I'm like, I really knew the formulas that they were doing. I
Yeah.
really knew like good good on
Good
me.
on you.
Good game design.
Yeah.
It's Valentine's.
It's
Was
Valentine's.
yesterday.
Right. Well, yeah. This will come out probably around next to Valentine's.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, I'm thinking of just sitting down today and doing all of them.
yeah.
Because I didn't do one for like I think a month.
Yeah.
I think I did like
Oh
a
no, we're
few.
disappointing all of our fans.
I know. Any business.
How will you ever watch it?
That's the thing. I'm not. So I'm like, win-win.
Gross.
But as long as they don't get deleted, it's fine. Yeah, well, it's fun. Like, yeah, gonna get you at the freaking hit. But for Valentine's, we watched About Time.
Yeah,
How did you like About Time?
quite liked it. It was cute.
It's my favorite romantic movie.
Okay, I didn't like the guy that much.
Okay,
I don't like the concept of being able to.
right your wrongs.
But you're not righting your wrongs. You're being like, "Ooh, I was too awkward in this conversation. Let me try this again." It's like you're just erasing somebody's memory and being like, "No, look at me. I'm this cool guy."
Yeah.
I don't like that.
But there, he at the end he did like do a few choices of like for his wedding day he asked her like, would you change anything? And she was like nothing, and he was
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
okay, I won't go back in time
Yeah.
and change it. No, I get it because it's a very realistic thing,
Yeah.
like what he did. And it's one of those movies where a lot of people who don't have personalities are like, this movie will change your life.
Yeah.
Um, because it's that message of like, at first he corrected so many
Yeah.
things, but over time he learned to,
Yeah.
just let it go with his
Just
story
live,
and
live,
everything.
laugh,
I
love.
love the movie. I think it's one of my favorite romantic movies, and I love when movies are about lover boys.
Mm-hmm.
I love when it's like, what do you want to find in life? Uh,
Love. Uh-huh.
I love a movie that Charlotte will love.
Oh yeah.
I love Charlotte. She's my favorite. Um, but Miranda.
Miranda?
I love saying names during sex.
What names did you say?
Miranda.
Miranda?
um,
Oh god. I don't
I
know.
I think it's my favorite. Like because some rom coms are too comedy and
And also what I
not
like about
Rami
this
enough.
one, it didn't have that like, oh, we're together, everything is perfect. Then we get into this big fight, and then she
Yeah,
leaves,
it's
and
just
I
good all
chase
the time.
her.
It's
Yeah, it's good all the time, and that I did like that part where it wasn't
you
like
know
a
he's never
drama.
toxic. He never like he finds out that like that girl just doesn't love him,
Yeah,
and he's like, you can't whatever you do, you can't make somebody love you.
yeah.
So he clicked with Rachel McAdams,
Uh-huh.
but then he had to like save his friend. So he was like, I gotta find Rachel McAdams because we did click.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. He did use, information that she said. But
Speculation.
but it's a thing like if you know, you can say a white lie.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like you're instantly lying. Like your first her first impression of you is a lie you told her. I don't.
But if you know that at the end you'll make a good couple.
It doesn't matter. What's that saying? That's like outcomes just
The end
outcomes
justifies the
the
mean.
mean.
The
I don't
means.
agree.
You don't
I
agree,
do not
so you're
agree.
not a big Aristotle guy.
No,
Okay.
fuck that guy. You Nietzsche. Wasn't even born. Cough Nietzsche.
Oh, Nietzsche. Um, I mean, it depends on what the means are and what the end is,
Yeah,
and
but to be
and
like
what it
whatever.
justifies.
No, but to be like I can do whatever I want as long as it outweighs it, right? And the outcome outweighs something. But it's like, what about the individuality? For me, that saying it comes down to genuinely like when people use percentages.
Yeah,
It doesn't make a percentage of something does not
yeah.
not a percent like
Statistic.
statistics. Yes.
Do you know that 100% of the people that I talked to that played in Russian roulette were survivors?
Exactly. What does that mean? Nothing. Get fucked.
Um, no, but I get it with this specific situation where it's like you know that we clicked, and maybe we won't click the same way that we did in that restaurant. So like, might as well just use something that I already know.
No.
I don't know. Like, if a guy came up to me and heard that I loved the Lego Batman movie and just started talking to me
Never
about
like that.
my like specific thoughts
Uh,
about the Lego Batman movie,
My, it would be fine if he went up to her and was like, "Hey, I don't know much about Kate Moss. I feel like, what do you think?" And then they just had that conversation. And like, I understand bringing something up to be like, "Oh, you're excited about this. Let me hear." It. But to be like, "I will quote what you said word to word
yeah,
back to you, so you think we're like soulmates."
yeah,
No,
okay. Um, it's a movie that really makes you think about life. We paused it at a few times
hmm
just to start talking.
but it was so like
What
they
would you?
mentioned like wedding, like, so what would your wedding be like?
And then it's funny because like we got more tired over time, and that his father faced death, and we're like, it's so weird how
Whatever.
you have to face death. No, but it's a beautiful movie. I love it
Yeah.
as a. It's either that or Pride and Prejudice. I
Mm.
love Pride and Prejudice. Yeah, I love Pride. Have you ever seen Pride and
I
Prejudice?
don't know if I've ever seen
Oh,
Pride
girl,
and
it's one
Prejudice.
of those girly things that you go like, I'm not that kind of girl, and then
Mm.
you realize you
You are,
are.
because we're all that
Yeah,
girly.
I'm more of a Bingsley guy,
Hmm.
but I completely understand this is like the Mr. Darcy obsession.
Yeah.
I'm not like, ew, Mr. Darcy. No, I love Mr. Darcy, but Mr. Bingsley is a fantasy like, he's a golden retriever.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'd rather that than this brooding big guy.
Yeah.
But I do love him, and I do because he is so that he and Elizabeth have a fight, and he comes up to her, he gives her a letter,
Hmm.
not being like, "Hey, you should take me back," but like, "These are the things that you got wrong.
Yeah.
These are the like misinformation that
Hmm.
you had, and I'm giving you your space, and
Yeah.
this is just like, it's not a thing of like, please take me back. It's just like, there's things I have to say,
Yeah.
and there is this letter. If you want to read it, um,
We do you.
off on my horse."
Yeah.
Such a yearner.
I saw like a YouTube short. It's not it wasn't on YouTube Shorts, but it's like a
But it's a
clip
YouTube
of it's
short
a YouTube
vibe.
short one
If it's a
of
clip of a movie, it's a YouTube short.
yeah, exactly, from Big Bang Theory, and it was when Sheldon made Amy watch your guy, First Love of Your Life.
Indiana
Whip,
Jones.
yes.
Oh, and she said that the first movie would not change without him in it.
Yeah, and then
She's wrong.
Sheldon is
No,
walking.
she is wrong because he did actually bring back the Ark of the Covenant to a secure location in the end. But aside from that, like the
Yeah,
whole
up
movie
until
up
the
until
point.
that point, really like. But I don't think that's a fault of the movie.
Yeah.
It's just that the Nazis are strong.
No. But and it's Sheldon coming back in his reading, like, why are you reading Pride and Prejudice? Like, well, she ruined something I love, so I'm gonna ruin something she loves.
um, I love from Indiana Jones. My favorite is the second movie. It's the most like it's the worst one. It's the most. It's a white savior movie
Yeah.
with a dumb chick.
So,
It's the funniest movie of all time. It's no, because the first and the third are like genuinely like masters of
Yeah.
adventure movies, and then the second movie is Temple of Doom. It starts with this girl singing "Anything Goes" in Chinese.
Oh, you showed me that.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and then the whole and she's in that whole movie. She's my favorite is a girl was reviewing it. There's this scene. She hates everything. She's like I have to write it. I have to take this right to these village people. Maybe and the village people are like, we are missing these important stones. And then Indiana Jones is like, I understand, and I have these
Namaste.
stones. Um, and then they're riding on these elephants, and then Indiana Jones and his Asian child friend, Short Round. His name is Short Round. First name Short, last name Round.
I miss slightly insensitive.
No, and
Slight racism is always fun.
there's this thing of like people are like, what people fear Indiana Jones will be now, and then he like, "Oh, I was stimming," and then he goes like, "Short Round had an A, but we should have used it." And then they're playing cards, and he like, "Jones, you cheat!" And then he finds like a card in it. Meanwhile, the girl is doing the laundry in the back, and then she like lifts up what she thinks is a shirt, but it's a bat. And then she just starts screaming, running from one end of the scene to another, encountering other animals, and screaming more.
Love.
And my favorite is a girl was reviewing the movie, and that scene happened, and she just goes like, "Was it obvious Steven Spielberg was going through a divorce at the time?" Most like randomly woman hating movie without
Yeah.
being like you're just a fucking woman. It's
Yeah.
just like she's just screaming all the time. She screams so much that in the Lego Indiana Jones video game, her superpower is to break glass and screaming.
Well,
It's a hilarious movie. It's my favorite, but in like I enjoyed the most watching
yeah.
it. It's just fucking hell. My mom's favorite is the third one because there's like the first scene is a young Indiana Jones played by River Phoenix.
Fun. Mm.
What else did you like about that?
I love Rachel McAdams in
Rachel
everything.
McAdams is so cute and she's so squirrely.
She's so squirrely, and like I would fall in love with her so quickly too, because it's such a like.
Oh, also
She's like the girl next door without being the girl next door.
without being too much like
I'm not like other girls.
I like Friends.
Yes. I like to
Like
drink
she
coffee.
has
like
a
I'm quirky like
she
that.
has a personality.
Yeah, like in a
And
genuine.
it's not a
way.
quirky personality,
Yeah.
but she just is a little bit quirky.
Yeah. And
Just
it's
because she
cute.
is.
And genuinely funny. What I like, it's like it. The conversations weren't romancy.
Yeah.
Like they weren't like.
But they were very fictional. Like
Yeah, but it
very
wasn't
much so.
Yeah, but they didn't have the like. I don't know. Even when they do it in movies, where it's like, yeah, they're both funny and joking, it's always in a flirtatious way.
Yeah.
With them, it was a genuine like. I love that scene randomly when they were walking down the street, and then they like she was talking. They were talking about their family, and she was like, "Oh, I have these like big brothers, and like they're like always like whatever."
I have 3 brothers.
And then
Where
he
are
was,
they?
"Where are they?" It's like behind you, like, and that's so cute to me. Like
Yeah,
a genuine like.
And they're both awkward without being the typical British. Like, and
Yeah.
I forgot.
Seems we both got autism, haven't we? Love that video so much.
And I'm a like a charming Brit
Who
Brit,
is
awkward.
stumpy.
The only person who could do that successfully is Jeff Goldblum.
Okay, I thought
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant.
But no, Hugh Grant does it too. But like Americanized, Jeff Goldblum is constantly.
Yeah.
And yes, that's why I need you guards. There's person in the palace. Bring her to me. Life finds life finds life it finds a way.
Of sort.
No, you finish with that.
Another part that I love that nothing to do with the movie between us when her boyfriend showed up. Stop. You yell faggot, and I'm like, that's a game. Mhm. And then you go, why? And we both go, scarf?
He's wearing like a scarf that's just a big bandana.
Uh-huh.
You know those scarves that are just huge bandanas, and then like
Yeah, it falls.
it hangs in a V. God. But no, it's a very cute movie, and I'm not one of the people who are like it changed lives. You know what movie changes lives? The Lego movie, Wicked,
Yeah,
Barbie.
yeah.
Um,
I don't think I've ever seen a romance thing that was like, it was so impactful.
I think you feel like it changes your life if you're in a romantic situation at that point.
Right, but not. I don't. I
Okay.
feel like it's the truth for a lot of people.
Much more of a lover boy.
Yeah.
So like maybe if I was in
Maybe
love with
not.
somebody, this movie would hit different.
Yeah.
But no, it still hits very nicely. So I'm a guy who's like very. The Notebook sucked.
Yeah.
Not as a movie, but their relationship was just not
Yeah,
good.
which fuck you. You ruined that for me. I love that movie, and then you were like, "No, it was kind of toxic," and then like YouTube Shorts.
It's not just this toxic; it's dysfunctional.
Yeah,
I'd
it's
say more than toxic.
no. I feel like him going so like I don't know. It didn't work, right? Like he was so intense with it, and then it didn't like. But watching it for the first time, I was like a teenager too, so I was like, "Oh, this is great."
No, my thing is
Completely
that
flew over my head.
I'm like it's dysfunctional, but like there's moments where I
Yeah,
get swept away in it too.
yeah. But then like a YouTube short
You
that
know who
came up
else
when
is
he was
dysfunctional?
hanging
Pretty
from that.
Woman.
No, it's not. You shut your face.
No, but it's like it doesn't have to be functional to be a good movie.
No, I know, but I like their dynamic seemed like such a. It didn't, the old people, them as old people. Come on, still heartbreaking. But
No,
like,
I didn't cry about them dying together. Because I saw it coming.
yeah,
If I see it coming, I will not cry.
I knew that she would die. I didn't know they would die together.
I was, oh my god,
I was like, yeah, of
the
course.
second they appeared as old people, I'm like, she's her, he's him, and they're gonna die together in their bed at the same time. I was like, that it's that kind of a movie
Yeah.
where that will happen and it's fine. The fact that she wrote the notebook,
Uh-huh.
she was like to bring me back,
Uh-huh.
and I was like,
Oh, fucking
I
god.
was watching it with Anna. She loves the movie. She loves a lot of like classic movies.
Yeah.
And she showed me Pretty Woman for the first time, stuff like that.
Mhm.
And the there's that scene where he made her like a painting room with like good art and everything. And I was like, and she was like, "What did I get you?" And I was like, "Oh, just imagine if the guy made you like a game room." But what are romance?
What do you want?
I liked the Age of Adeline as a
Oh
teenager,
yeah,
but I tried to rewatch it now, and it's too
yeah.
quippy.
Mhm.
You know, like romance quippy.
Yeah.
And you didn't like see the signs, and the signs are like, it's about you, and it's like, what are we jumping?
I don't like any. I don't like. I don't like that speech.
Yeah,
That lore. I hate it.
you like I took you on a second date, and it's a date that you've never seen before.
That's why I hate. I hated. Fault in Our Stars.
I just said like it's very John Green.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the only good John Green book is actually I love Will Grayson, but that's because it's my first gay book, and you can never compare the relationship with a gay man in his first gay book.
Mm-hmm.
My second one was Bins by Taylor Oakley. Now that one.
Oh no. Come on.
I, I, I can't say that Bedford's Taylor was important for me, but I listened to the audiobook and didn't have to buy the book.
Yeah.
It's fine. Anyways, Looking for Alaska. I really like Looking for Alaska.
Mm-hmm. I think I had that book.
I had every single John Green book. I had every single John. I didn't watch The Fault in Our Stars till like a few years ago.
Mm.
The only thing I knew from the movie from The Fault in Our Stars was Boom Clap. That's made for
the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't exist before.
It didn't. It's like
Wow, fine.
Charlie XCX Boom Clap
Yeah.
parentheses for The Fault in Our Stars.
Wait, well, no. First of all, like okay, I have a problem with The Fault in Our Stars. You
have a fault.
have a fault with The Fault in Our Stars. First of all, The Fault in Our Stars. Annoying. Just as a title. Get fucked.
But their destiny is not fault.
Don't care. Don't bring the cosmic universe into the fact that you're falling in love. I don't give a shit. Second, as a teenager, as a 12-year-old, I was like, the metaphor, I hold the thing that does the killing in your mouth, but you don't give it the power. I was looking at that dead being like, ew.
Dead? That's offensive.
Den.
I personally
Also, are okay. Like, or whatever
Yeah.
their thing was.
our okays are forever.
Forever, uh-huh.
My favorite thing is when people go like, emptying a bottle of ketchup is kind of like falling in love with a in a John Green book. Slowly.
Uh,
My thing is the movie makes me feel uncomfortable because they don't act that well. And if you're acting to be a dead person, I better believe that you're a person.
mhm.
Because then I feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like Laura Linney in The Big C, she's Laura Linney in The Big
Mhm.
C. So like her dying, I'm like, I feel comfortable because I
I believe it.
that you're
Yeah.
a person dying. But the two of them, it's just like you're the most healthy looking fucking teenagers of all time.
Also, but I have a problem with him specifically because his character is written to be this cool, like, it's a cool guy vibe.
Did you ever read the book?
No.
You can very much more easily ignore the bad parts and enjoy the fun parts.
Okay. No, but I'm saying like he's like the cool guy thing, but then he's also like it doesn't work because you're combining the two. He was a very the killing the metaphors, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he was like such a like a little sweetheart. I like shut up about. I don't like.
No, he was. I think when I read the book, I didn't watch the movie until much later.
Yeah.
But that's what I think.
Mhm.
I think he was, he was sweet in a cool guy way because he approached her and he was like, "You have this pixie girl haircut from Natalie Portman and from his dad," and I was like,
Oh,
"What?" And then
tell
he
me
like,
more.
and then he makes her watch me for Vendetta, and my parent she was like, "It's a good movie. It's a guy movie though.
Mhm.
We don't expect guys to watch girl movies."
Yeah.
And he in return reads her favorite book, and then he's like, Hazel Grace, why did you bestow me such a,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's very charming in the book. Looking for Alaska, though,
Mhm.
is,
Can't remember if I read it. I know I had it, and I don't remember if I.
so, this guy goes to college, kind of like a normal guy, right?
Right.
He meets this girl named Alaska.
Mhm.
Instantly, like, her name's Alaska. So her parents made her choose, they gave her, like, a name, and then they were like, at age 10, we'll have you choose your own name. She chose
Really.
Alaska because it's far away from
Oh. Far away
um
from what?
far away from her home.
Uh-huh. Okay.
It's a lot of like there's a lot of idiosyncrasies I had as a teenager where I
Mhm.
was like, um, the girl was like, "Damn, girl, you smoke so fast," and she's like, "Because you smoke to enjoy yourself, I smoke to die."
I do remember that. I remember that quote, and I
And
don't know
do,
if I saw it. I don't know if it's in
and do
something
you
in the
remember?
book.
And do you remember taking a pencil and being like, "This is important."
I remember writing it down. I think I have it written down in my notebook. I do. I can find it right now. I drew like a hand smoking and with that quote over it. Awful. Go on.
But no, the thing is, she's this like kind of sort of a manic pixie, and like he doesn't up with her, but he does love her. Blah, 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 blah. Halfway through the book, she dies,
Mhm.
and then the rest of the book is this trying to find meaning in somebody's
Yeah.
death and going on. And I'm like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's really like,
Yeah. Tell me the survivor story.
yeah, that I was really, you don't know why she died, like it's just and this guy going to college has to like
Yeah.
live
Yeah.
through somebody's death. No, I miss being into like semi-bad teenage books. I
Mhm.
love All the Bright Places. Have you read that one?
No.
Were you like a book teen, but like in this kind of way?
I
You were reading Charles Bukowski.
Yeah. Like I was like,
Meanwhile, I was like, I had. Oh my god! If you needed like a book, just call John.
yeah.
Perks of Being a
I did
Wallflower.
read that one,
Perks of Being a Wallflower.
but that's like a, rite of passage.
Yeah, yeah,
You
but I
know,
think a lot of these for me are right of
yeah.
passage. It's like Eleanor and Park. Is this Asian kid falling in love with this like ginger girl who has like a bad dad,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a lot of like her relationship with her dad. But then it's like one chapter is from his perspective, one's from her, and then he becomes more punk. And, whatever. There's All the Bright Places where it's this girl falls in love with this rebellious teen, whatever, kills himself like halfway through the book. And then she
Yeah.
has to like go through all the
Yeah.
places, all his right places,
Yeah.
whatever. He died like I was reading and he died while I was reading in class.
Imagine
I
it.
had to be excused. um no, there's a there was a lot of those. There is I loved everything.
Uh-huh.
It's about this girl and she's sick and she can't get out of the house because she has like an illness.
Uh-huh.
Right, halfway through the book, it's like her mom's what's the word? Her mom's you're sick. Munchausen by
By
proxy.
proxy, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So she
Muncher.
Muncher. So and then she's like with this guy and the guy and she like escapes with the guy. And I was like, oh my god, it's so like who thinks of these stories? And I'm like,
Wait, wasn't there a movie with Bella Thorne?
yes. I don't know if it's with Bella Ford.
I think there's one where she can't leave the house because the sun will hit her. Like if she,
No,
her
because
mom made up a
in the
thing.
everything movie, it's a black girl.
Oh, okay, then no. Oh, but I watched that one too.
Yeah,
I
it
remember now.
was
Everything was white, very white.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Because it's like
Yeah.
air has to be
Uh-huh.
purified.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
It was this black girl. Yeah, everything was white, right?
yes, the characters, the skin of the characters. Um, but no, I had a lot of like I had very
It's a year where a lot of those types of movies came out. Because I think the Bella Thorne one came out that too, and it was her mom
there
made up
was
a thing.
6 feet apart
Yeah,
with one of the Sprouse twins,
yeah.
and he's like, we can't like close to each other,
Yeah,
but like there's this different distance between us
yeah.
because of cancer that I can't breathe that year.
Can't breathe that year.
My favorite is when like, and then when Kathy Griffin goes like, and then Barbara hugs her, like she had cat cancer. Um,
Favorite is like, and throughout the whole interview, you can just see her going like this the whole time.
my favorite is her doing Oprah. Yesterday we were talking about like the Ava Levine interview with
Uh-huh.
and then you were like, and then she asked her like, "Are you a punk?" And I'm like, "No." She asked her, "Ava Levine, are you a punk?" And then she getting mixed up with Gail.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's about time. No, we had a lot of cute conversation about like what we planned for our wedding.
Yeah.
But then we were too tired to talk about death. Let's talk about death.
Let's talk about that first.
Let's talk about death,
Baby. And
let's talk about all the bad things and all the bad things. No, it's at one point his dad is found to have cancer, and he was like, "I don't know, I can live for years." And then the guy goes like, "How much do you actually have?" And he's like, "Week."
yeah.
And then it's his funeral, and his son goes like back in time to be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
it's your funeral." Yes,
Okay.
and it's weird because they're both like, we had this conversation before, right? They both know about the whole time travel thing, and it's okay. I'm a person who doesn't care what happens after we die because I will never have the answer, and that's okay.
Yeah.
If somebody comes with an answer, I'll be like, you're bullshitting me.
Yeah.
You know.
But what if it's like a scientific? Well, I mean, scientifically, you rot. Like,
Yeah. No, I think that we die and then we become worm potter, and then we like. Some people explain that so negatively. I'm like, you die and you become grass.
you
Then
become a part of the
yeah,
world. Like
of
that.
nature
That's what
that then
makes.
feeds.
Yeah. No, that's a beautiful part of it, but I'm saying like you is what makes you you is your consciousness. But as soon as your consciousness is gone, you're
Yeah,
dead.
and that's the question: what happens to the consciousness? Is
Nothing.
it nothingness? Is it whatever? I don't care. Until one day, I was acting in my bed, and I got too into the role because I didn't fall asleep yet. It wasn't a dream,
Yep.
but and I was like, I'm an 80-year-old man who knows he's about to die, and this
Moment.
just struck within me. I was
Mhm.
just like, fear. But there was this fear. There was this palpable like dread. Dread is the
Mhm.
correct word.
Yeah.
Like, and I was just like, okay,
So that's what it's like. Cool. 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 Cool.
yeah, it is. It is a very scary thing. But I'm not one of those people who's afraid to die because they don't know what's coming next. I mean, I'm not afraid to die at all.
For me, it's not like, oh, I don't know. I know. I think, therefore I am. No, I think I know. You understand the aspects of it, right? And you're like, okay, I just cannot imagine. It's kind of one of those things like you can't imagine nothingness.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
that.
yeah. You can black
It's not
people.
black.
Blind people don't see black.
Black, exactly. It's very that. And the best way, because it was so hard for me to
See out of your
understand.
elbow.
Yeah, can you see out of your elbow right now? And I'm like, that is the best way to, like, I get it now. I get
Like
blindness.
when that non-binary person, like their dad couldn't do like didn't understand they them,
Uh-huh.
and they were like, just imagine me as a swarm of bees.
Yeah, there you
Dad
go.
got it instantly.
Hmm. So I think that's my quarrel with it, and I can't because I can't understand it, and then that's what makes it hard to accept it.
I accepted non-binary people. Might as well accept that. You know what I mean? Like,
Accepted bees, might as well. Yeah.
there's things that you sometimes you have to wrap your brain around, and that's where like the more I feel like the more conservative you are, the more it's hard to grapple something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be very liberal and not grasp the concept
Yeah.
of that properly. But I'm saying like if you're here standing and somebody goes like, I have a fetish for like I really want one day somebody to chop my leg off, and you go like, okay, like you're bound to be like, I don't know what death is, and I'm ready for it to come at me.
Yeah.
But there is a thing of like when you know that you're about to die,
Yeah.
it's weird to imagine a future without yourself in it.
That's the thing. You
You
can't.
you don't know what will happen to people. You don't
Yeah.
know like your loved ones will take care. You know what's the scariest part? That'd be the last one there.
Uh-huh.
What if none of us have children and then like
You're
Adi
the
dies,
less.
Amina
Yeah.
dies, I die, and then you're just there.
Yeah.
No pets, like
Nothing.
just
Just
waiting.
me.
Nobody will come to your funeral.
Not only that, imagine being left alone as an old person.
Yeah,
Like you can't get out of bed
yeah,
and there's nobody there for you.
yeah,
Like that's one of those things. I mean, I saw like these Primogel type
yeah.
shows, and like it's people just walking in, and it's these like 93 or a 93-year-old woman, and she's alone, and there's nothing, and it's like you can't. Another thing that's really hard to conceptualize is like genuinely you're alone.
Yeah,
Like, sure, I might not be great with my parents, but like they're there. I
yeah,
know that. Friends, I have
yeah.
you.
That's
Like
why I say like not without children.
nothing. Like it's such a scary thought to be like at that point just kill yourself.
Yeah,
Like genuinely, or else, like
it's a thing of that. That's a moment where I don't judge suicide. Right?
yeah.
Um, I'm playing this. I downloaded this video game that I played when I was young, and I can't wait to experience it again. It's called To the Moon,
Hmm.
and it's the story of it's this organization that does when you have a last wish, like you
Yeah.
mentioned, they grant you that last wish through your memories. So
Oh
they go inside of your memories and they make you experience it,
no.
which you and like if you have a lasting regret or something like that.
Mm.
And they come to this old man. He's the reason why I like to be called Johnny, because they were like, Johnny, are we talking to a kid? And they're like, no, it's how he likes to be called. His name isn't John. His name is like something else, and
Johnny.
it's he says that he wants to go to the moon,
Yeah.
and his wife passed away, and there's a lot of like origami rabbits that she used to make. Whatever. You realize later she has Asperger's, which I didn't get as a kid. I was
Hmm.
just like, what the fuck is that? I was like, she's just quirky. Her name was River. And then you have to go into his memories to see. You need to find a reason why he wants to go to the moon.
Yeah.
And then through his whole life, he never had a special interest. He
Yeah.
never talked about it, but
Never like, I want to be an astronaut.
yeah. And then there was a part of his childhood was blocked out, but then you see little hints
Yeah.
through the story, like how actually I think his name is Johnny, but his mother calls him something else,
Hmm.
something like that. And then you go back, and then part of his memory is blocked out, and he took some pills to like block out his
Hmm.
memory of that. Turns out he had a twin brother,
Oh.
and then his mom called him like with his twin brother's name and everything, and the twin brother died, and the brother was the more fun one and everything, but he fell in love with the girl there called
Yeah.
River, and then they didn't talk for a while, and then they met again
Oh.
later on, and then she remembers it, but he doesn't, and then they were like at a park somewhere, and that's where they met, and they wanted to meet again, and they were like looking at the stars, and she's like, "Do you see the rabbit in the stars?" And then he's like, "I don't," and then it's like the moon is the belly, and then it's
Oh.
like the
Yeah.
rabbit is the things all around. And then she's like, "We can meet there. We can always meet we'll always meet at the moon." And then one of the scientists goes like, "We'll have to delete her to make him good. Like I will find him a way." And he's like, "You can't delete her. That's his
That's
wife."
the whole point.
And then, but she doesn't tell her like coworker for whatever reason. But she then deletes her, and then that's the saddest part of like this woman gets deleted from his
Yeah.
life entirely. But then they meet for the only way for it to make sense, and she made it perfect. He did train to become an astronaut. He did,
Oh, yeah.
everything. And then when he
And
like,
then she was there.
yeah,
Oh my.
they like saw each other, like, and she was like, "Hi, I'm River," and like that, they went to the moon together.
That
It's
is so
and like
chills. Chills.
as they're going to the moon, you hear like the heartbeat, like
Oh. Oh
it's
God.
oh my god,
That's so.
it's and I can't wait to play that game again. It was
Oh,
I
love it.
remember I found it.
Make it into a movie.
Yeah, I
Great.
was
What's her name? Arrival. She was in Arrival.
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams is
She
playing
is
her.
Ginger.
There you go.
Wipe the tear away from me. I found it genuinely. I think I was like 11 or 12, and I googled like saddest game,
Uh-huh.
and then PewDiePie was like playing the saddest game, and I remember so being like 3 a.m. that night.
When I kept saying astronaut, I kept remembering this clip. So I told you about Destiny before, who was
together.
like the blue hair guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, and he
I
was
was thinking about that guy when you were talking about it. I was thinking about that guy who used to be racist.
no, that's Dean. Whatever.
I
No,
love him.
we don't. Um, he he was reacting to a thing. There's Candace Owens. You know her? Black girl, very conservative. She's like, no, whatever. But she's a very big conspiracy theorist, but she says it as fact. So she's like, I think they made up dinosaurs. Dinosaurs aren't real. Isn't it weird how like the first dinosaur bone was found in like the 1700s or something, and then up from that point on, people just kept finding them, and like whatever. She's going into this like deep rooted thing, and then she goes, and isn't it funny how isn't it funny how all the dinosaur bones are always found by paleontologists? Destiny pauses it and she goes, "Yeah, isn't it funny how the only people who ever walked on the moon were astronauts?"
Uh, I love dinosaurs. That was my first gripe with religion.
Yeah.
It's like
That's her theory too. That the reason they made up dinosaurs is to erase Christ. She's onto something.
she's on to something. Because I was like, because in my head a long time a world of both existed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Adam and Eve were monkeys.
Sure.
You know, that kind of a thing where it's like I try to make sense of both of them. I was like, wait, you're telling me that if you believe in the Quran or the Bible,
That you can't
dinosaurs didn't exist?
No.
Right that moment, I said, "Yeah, but the bull." Right at that moment, I threw all the religious books in the fireplace.
Oh, God.
It's weird how people are like. Somebody's house was stolen during the war, and then everything was burned.
Yeah.
When they came back, their Quran was untouched.
Yeah.
Because these Christians
Mhm.
were scared
Yeah.
to burn the Quran, and I'm like, pussies. I'm not saying do it,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like you disrespected much more important pieces of art there.
Yeah.
Like
You know what I did like one guy though? It was, I think this happened in Germany. It was like a group of rebellious, but it was the get all the immigrants out of Germany types, and they burned the Quran like a public place, and then they wanted to like sue for like hate crime, whatever. And by the laws, you're like you have every right to do that,
Yeah.
because it's not a. And then a Muslim guy, came in, and he was like, "Fine, I'm doing a public burning of the Bible."
Yeah.
And he gathered all these people, and then he took the Bible and respectfully put it down, and he was like, "They might have done this, but I will not. I have respect for it." Da, da,
Oh,
da, da,
that's
da.
cool.
And I was like, "Okay, good on you." Anyway, that's a fun story.
Well, I think that's cool, but it's also like
You did a whole thing. That problem is like you just wanted to be on camera and say that.
no, because it is a thing of like he probably would have been prosecuted for burning a Bible, but this guy's not prosecuted for burning the Quran.
No, he wouldn't be. That's the thing.
But he would be publicly prosecuted.
Well, sure.
My thing is, as an atheist, what do you swear upon in court of law?
That's the thing. Why is that still a thing?
A 4K Blu-ray of Wicked?
It's so stupid.
Oddly would work on me.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm here swearing upon
the
Wicked.
yeah, the true greatness of this world. I don't know. That whole thing of there's a whole scandal that Donald Trump didn't put his hand on the Bible when he was swearing in the
Love
office.
that.
Which
my favorite is Catherine Zeta-Jones in Chicago.
uh-huh.
Do you swear to tell that she's hand on the Bible? Do you swear to say the truth, nothing but the truth? And she goes like, and then some.
And then
Chicago. Mother of the week.
Mother of the Week. Love.
We're
Love
gonna
is
talk
my
about
mother.
time a lot.
But it's what do you say?
Yeah.
No,
What
it's
do you say? Like, watch the movie.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah.
It's a very fun
But I
movie.
hate movies where people without personality. It changes your life.
Yeah.
No, person being on the floor changes your life when you're a teenager.
Uh-huh. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. Wicked changes your life whenever you watch it.
No, art can always impact your life. But like to watch this movie and to now be like, I'm gonna live every day like it's my last.
Yeah.
I do too. It's called being massively depressive.
But also, why? I don't think that was ever the message of the movie. No?
Yeah, it's like enjoy your day to the fullest, kind of. Because at the end he's like, I don't do a reset.
Yeah, but it's being like, but I think it's mostly being like, accept your fate for what it is, and
Yeah.
live your life. And
I think people see it as that, like, oh, I should really like live every day like it's my last. I'm like, it's just a cute movie.
yeah,
Kind of corny.
sometimes cute movies are just cute movies.
There was this drag queen, and I took this from her and ran with it. Oh, she's the straight girl, Maddie Marcus,
Uh-huh.
and I think it was Trixie Mattel talking. She was like, Bob does this thing that whenever they do like a rap on Drag Race, she does her own, and she goes like, kind of corny. She's like, what? And she's like, yeah, I find it really corny, like when drag queens do like, this is what I would have worn. Which I thought was on the season. This is just kind of corny. And then you were talking about that necklace.
Uh-huh.
This is corny. Kind of corny.
Yeah, my Mother of the Week is Love. And I think it's nice. It's nice to celebrate. I'm really in like I will pay an homage to like a lot of holidays because it's nice to have something to care about, and they're all like you can make them into what you want to make them. Except for Easter because I really don't know what that's about.
It's about bunnies and chocolate and eggs.
Right, but like what's the lore? Like the same way Christmas is about Santa, but like it's about Jesus. No,
Oh, it's about Jesus resurrecting.
Easter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, I don't care about that.
Well, maybe it's about getting out of bed in the morning.
That's yes. So it's cute. I like to. I was never the type to be like Valentine's is just commercialized and it's I just genuinely did.
I don't want us to move on from Easter. I love Easter. It's one of my favorite holidays. When I was a kid, I was like my favorite holidays Ramadan and then Easter because the neighbors would give us very good bread and eggs.
Yeah,
my favorite breakfast.
There you go.
Fucking loved it.
Bread and eggs.
I had a conversation with my friend recently where she was just like, "It's about Saint Valentine's. Like, let's not make it what it isn't.
Why not?
Why not? Because it's a commercialized holiday. It isn't
Anyway.
like maybe it's not like why is February 14th celebrated for Saint Valentine?
Hmm.
Like
What did he do?
what did he do on this exact day?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. We all know that it's made to sell more cards. However, you can take that and make it into something else.
Yeah, you can turn it into like, okay, this day I will share my love for people. And also like it's cute, like with
We,
people in your life, you
we
can
all
always create
celebrated. We
something.
all celebrated each other's. Like we were all like Happy Valentine.
Yeah,
Like every
great.
single one of us.
It's really nice and it's really I don't know, I love it. And I love love. And I think it's a very intense feeling and it's one of those things where you don't let's put this like it's so you've seen it everywhere
Yeah.
to a point where now you have kind of a blueprint of what it should look like,
Yeah.
and like rom-coms and like shit like
Yeah.
that where it's like, oh, I love this person, so I'm ready to move the world for them and that, but it's like if you strip away all of that, you just kind of are left with this beautiful, warm,
Yeah.
nice emotion. And
No, like
love
Drew
it.
Barrymore said yesterday. I know love
Yeah,
because I know my friend.
exactly. And
It's
it's so
very yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, no, it's I mean, as somebody who's very much a lover boy, like even like I get like you tell me you love me and I'm like, ew, cringe. Because I love. I
Yeah,
like it's very like well known. Everybody
yeah.
feels loved with me, and if you don't, you don't.
It's probably your fault.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um no, but it's just like I'm also like not the person to say I love you very fast.
Yeah.
Like we talked about Leon. His girlfriend will always go like, "Love you," and I go like, "Yeah, yeah." One time when Hannah turned around, she said like volume to, and I was like, "What's that excuse?"
That's like
And I was
that's
like,
scary.
and I was so like, I paused the beat, and I was like, "It's hard to say on our
Yeah.
end, but no, because I don't know. There's a love you, volume
Yeah.
to, but like a love you and a
Yeah.
volume to. I mean, love is always a hard word for me. So saying it is, you know,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird because it's hard to say, and then it's the easiest thing to say
Yeah.
on planet Earth. Like it's, I mean, it's cringe, of course,
Yeah,
but
but
it's like
it's
I know that I feel it. I know
yeah.
that I love you. I know that I love Amin. I know that I love Anis. I know that I love Edim. I know that I love Rehana.
I know that I'm wicked.
No, that's a hard thing
Uh-huh.
because it's incomparable. It's sort of like no, but it's there's a yeah, I love you, but I love Wicked.
Yeah. Love wicked.
I love Rihanna. I love my mom. I love the dog. I love Tintin. I love Sarah. I love my other side of my Sarah. I love. Is there anybody else that I love? I'm thinking of people that I love. A lot of people that I love. I think that those are like my main small circle of people. That's the thing. I might have like a bigger circle, but every single one of them is like a ride or die.
Yeah. And it's also one of those things where it's like I love people that I'm not good with anymore.
Oh
You hold
yes,
on to love, It's like there's always gonna be
love the memory.
yeah, there's always gonna be like that like that doesn't really ever go away. It
Yeah,
can be
yeah,
trumpeted by something else.
yeah, yeah.
Like you can hate someone more than you love them,
You
but
can
you'll
see
still
somebody and
there.
not say hi to them, but then remember the best night of your
Yeah.
life.
And be like, this is someone
Yeah,
that I love and it's nice.
that I used to love.
Hmm.
Um, no, that I like. There's a love. Love actually is all
All
around.
around.
Um, there's a reason why the most popular movies
Yeah.
for any season except Halloween
Yeah.
is romantic comedies and stuff like that. So I don't know. I love love, and I love the people who I love dearly. Like I feel like they all feel very loved,
Yeah.
and they all every single one of them deserves it.
Yeah.
My mother of the week is Deputy Dewey from Scream.
Okay.
I was considering between him and Tatum, but Tatum is just a bad bitch.
Hmm.
Tatum is like mother. I love her so much. They're talking about like who the killer could be,
Uh-huh.
and they're like, it's got to be a guy because he gutted her, and she's like, the killer could have easily been a woman. Hello, Basic Instinct. Walks around without a bra. Love her.
Like,
She's the best. Oh, don't kill me, Mr. Ghostface. I want to be in the sequel. But no, definitely Riley doing for me the heart of Scream. Like he is. I just love him so much. He's that guy you liked him when we watched the fifth movie where he was like, "Mm." Where they're like, maybe you're the killer. You know, you were dumped by your famous wife and now crawled into a bottle, and then he goes, maybe you're the killer. That could be.
love
I
him.
loved her, and he's played by David Arquette, and it's a like the first two Scream movies are semi-serious.
Yeah.
They're not fully comedies, but they're satires. And it's the only David Arquette could make something like that semi-serious, where he's like, he gets mad at Gail Weathers, Monica from Friends,
Uh-huh.
because she wrote a book about the killings, and then she was like, and he literally talks with his whole face.
Mm.
Page 68, Deputy Dewey oozes with incompetence, and he can make it charming.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so cute, and he's like, how do you not know that my incompetence is just nothing but a facade to like catch them off guard, and then we'll swoop in at the
Yeah.
best possible moment. And I just he's my best, and he died in a very disrespectful way. And fuck you, five. But yeah, he's my man. We gotta watch all of the Scream movies. Oh, fun fact: in Scream 4, Emma Roberts plays a nice person.
No. Fiction.
She played a nice
Mm.
girl. She's a girl.
She's a girl. But nice.
She's a nice girl. Also, Hayden Panettiere is in that movie, and she fucking fucks. She okay, we're all like that.
No, no.
Um, she fucking fucks. There's this one scene. Scream 4 is my favorite one after the original.
Yeah.
Because it's the one where it's like they made the original trilogy, and then like years later they made Scream 4 kind of like a remake sequel, thing. But that was all the rage before like actual requels were starting happening. So they were making a lot of remakes, and there's Kirby is a horror movie fanatic.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ghostface calls are the best Ghostface calls, by the way. There's one that always like to this day I would tattoo it on my back if I could. He Ghostface calls them, and then he's like, "Are you enjoying the movie?" And they're like, "What movie?" And they're like, "He's like Shaun of the Dead." She's like, how did you know that? And he's like, because I'm in the closet. And they were talking like a minute before they were talking to their neighbor friend, and then she goes like, "What?" And then he opens the door, and she's like, "Ah, you're just fucking with me." And she's like, "I never said I was in your closet." Turn around, the girl's like on her phone, and it's. I was like, "Fucking hell!" There's the best Ghostface calls of the franchise. And then there's Hayden Panettiere, who's kind of like the new main character.
Yeah.
And she gets a call, and it's the best thing of all time. She gets a question wrong. She wants to save some guy, and in order to save him, she has to answer horror movies. It's Scream. And he goes like, she goes like, ask me one like last question, and he goes like, what's the remake? And then she goes like, Dawn of the Dead, Friday the names all of them, like Black Friday, Prom, when a stranger calls, it's probably one of those, right?
Yeah.
It's a 3-minute scene of her just naming horror
movies.
movie remakes. It fucks. And there's somebody posted a picture of Andy Cohen. Name a Chaperone song, or he slips it in because people are now recently thirsting over him. And then somebody puts a picture of her.
Yeah.
She's like, "Find Supernova, Casual coffee, naked in their hats." It's one of them. His nudes leaked recently. I think he's hot.
Okay.
I think he's very slimy.
Yeah.
As a person,
Mm-hmm.
I'd fuck him though.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that other guy.
Who?
The white haired guy.
Uh.
Who didn't back his fag hag.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Anderson Cooper.
Anderson Cooper. Hate
Anderson,
Anderson Cooper.
Anderson Cooper. Because I'm like, cause with Andy Cohen, I was like, I expected you to do something
Yeah.
like that with Kathy Griffin. I completely, even though you're the same type of sleazeball,
Yeah.
you probably said and did worse things,
Yeah.
much worse things than that. But with Anderson Cooper, I'm like,
Awful.
always back your fag.
Yeah. Always back.
He's one fickle faggot. Anyways, so that was I think it's like about 2 hours.
Yeah.
How long?
Okay. Oh.
I thought we started at 1.
Bye.